Hi students, welcome to this video session. My name is Samuel Chukwu Emeka. In this video session, we shall continue our study of relations and functions. In this video, we shall evaluate functions. What do I mean by evaluating functions? Evaluating functions means this. You're given a function of a variable and you're asked to evaluate that function for some other variable or constant. Okay? I repeat, you're given a function of a variable, let's say a function of x, and you're asked to evaluate that function for another variable or for another constant, or for a combination of a variable and a constant. So they give you the rule of the function or the definition of the function, and then you're now asked to evaluate that function for some other variable or constant. That is what we mean by evaluating functions. We have some questions here on my right and on my left, and we shall begin. It is pretty straightforward, okay? Watch me do it. All right, number one, it says here, if a function of x, f of x is negative 3x plus 7, find f of 3. Find f of 3. So look at what this is saying here. They gave you f of x. Okay, let me write this directly under this. They gave you the function of x. They gave you the rule of this function. Right? That a function of x is negative 3x plus 7. That's a linear function with a negative slope. And they now ask you to evaluate based on this rule, based on this definition of this function. They want you to evaluate f of 3. So all you need to do is this. You just replace x with 3. That is what it means. Wherever you see x in this function, just replace it with 3. Okay, that is what it means. So you see that x is in parentheses here, and you see that 3 is in parentheses here. So what you have to do is this. Replace x, wherever you see x, just replace with 3. Okay? Just replace it with 3. That's all you have to do. So this will now be negative 3 times 3 plus 7. Alright? Negative 3 times 3 plus 7. That is what it is. Because we have now replaced our x with 3. This means that your x is now 3. So wherever you see it here in the rule, in the function, replace it with 3. Simple. So this will now be negative 9 plus 7. And that gives you negative 2. That's it. This becomes your answer. Then you are asked to find f of negative 5. Here, this means that wherever you see x, you replace with negative 5. That is what it means. This is the rule of the function. And you're asked to evaluate this function for negative 5. So that means that wherever you see x, you put negative 5. You replace x with negative 5. So this will now be negative 3 times negative 5, because this is negative 3 times x. So this will be negative 3 times negative 5 plus 7. And that will give you what? 15 plus 7. That will give you 22. That's it. Okay? Number 2, we have the function, the rule of the function. The rule of the function is p of x. P of x this time is equal to negative x squared minus 5x plus 8. So p of x is negative x squared minus 5x plus 8, a quadratic function. Okay, and you're asked to find p of 0. P of 0 means that x will now be equal to 0. That is what it means. And that tells you that wherever you see x in this function, you replace it with 0. You just replace it with whatever is in the parentheses. X is in the parentheses. So whatever thing that is in the parentheses, you have to replace x with that. You replace x with the thing in the parentheses. So this will give you negative 0 squared minus 5 times 0 plus 8. Negative 0 squared gives us 0, minus 5 times 0 gives us minus 0, plus 8. And our answer becomes 8. That is it. Then the next one, you're asked to find p of 7. Likewise, wherever you see x, you replace with 7. So this means negative 7 squared. Right? 7 squared, you can put this 7 in parentheses. If you want, you can put the 0 here in parentheses to be on the safe side. So this is negative 7 squared minus 5 times 7 plus 8. Alright? So this will give you negative 49 because 7 squared is 49. Now remember, this means negative 1 times 7 squared. That is what it means. So negative 49 minus 5 times 7 is minus 35 plus 8. Right? So this will give you what? Negative 49 minus 35, this will give you 14. 9 plus 5 is 14. 1 plus 4, 5 plus 3, 8. Right? Negative 84 plus 8. And that will give you what? 6, 7 is 6. Negative 7 is 6. That's it. Okay? P of 7. Now what of P of negative 7? Negative 7. What will it be? Wherever we see x, we put negative 7. So we put the negative here, this is the negative. Then we put negative 7 all squared, right? Minus 5 times negative 7 plus 8. Right? So this will give us what? Negative 7 all squared is negative 7 times negative 7, which gives us 49. Minus 5 times minus 7 is what? Plus 35. Right? Plus 8. You owe 49, you have 35. So what will it be? 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. And 4 minus 3 is 1. You owe 14. And you have 8. And that gives you negative 6. See that? So it's pretty much straightforward. I mean, if you look at it, it's pretty much straightforward. All right, let's complete that. The next one is P of G. We are still working under this. We are still doing this one. So P of G will be what now? P of G will be anywhere you see x, you replace with g. Evaluating functions, they must not give you only constants. They can give you variables as well, alphabets. So it's the same process. Anywhere you see x, you replace with g. So this will be negative g squared minus 5g plus 8. And this becomes your answer. That is it. Okay? So let's do the next one, number 3. Number 3 says that g of x is 2 over 3 times x minus 3 over 4. Of course, this means 2x over 3. The x belongs to the numerator. Okay? I have said it several times in other videos. when you have 2 over 3 times x, it means 2x over 3. The x belongs to the numerator, not the denominator. Okay, so this is the rule of the function, right? Or the equation. And you're asked to find g of 3. What is g of 3? This means wherever we see x, we replace with 3. Okay, we replace with 3. So this means 2 over 3 times 3 minus 3 over 4. Okay? Now, the way I do my multiplication, I have done it in video, multiplying fractions, because this is a fraction. If you want, you can put 3 over 1. It doesn't matter. If you want to, you put 3 over 1. Some students like to see those fractions. They want to put something. So if you want to, that's fine. In multiplying fractions, you can either simplify then multiply, or you can multiply then simplify. I have discussed that in my videos on my video on multiplying fractions. Which one do I like? Simplify first, then multiply. So 3 will divide 3 to give you 1. 3 divide 3 here to give you 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 over 1 minus 3 over 4. Okay? And let's find the equivalent fraction so that we can subtract it. Okay? I've done videos on subtracting fractions. You might need to view it to know it. So LCD is 4. This will be 8 over 4 minus 3 over 4. And that gives you what? 8 minus 3 over 4. And that gives you 5 over 4. Okay? You don't need to write it as a mixed number unless your instructor tells you to do that. For me, you can leave it as an improper fraction, the way it is. Okay. The next one, under question 3, still g as a function of x. Find g of 4. G of 4. Right? So g of 4 means wherever we see x, we replace with 4. So this means 2 over 3 times 4 minus 3 over 4. Right? So it will now be, if you like, you put 4 over 1. Okay? And you know, when you multiply fractions, you multiply along. You don't multiply across. You multiply along. That means you multiply the numerator by the numerator, or by the denominator by the denominator. If you look at this now, we cannot simplify because nothing can cancel out. So we just multiply along. So 2 times 4 is 8. This is 8 over 3 minus 3 over 4. And then what's the LCD? The LCD is 12. Right? If I have to simplify this very well so that you can understand it, LCD is 12, so I put 12 here over 12. What will you do to 3 to give you 12? You multiply by 4. Whatever you do to the denominator, you also do to the numerator. So 8 times 4 is what? 32. That means that the equivalent fraction of 8 over 3, using 12 as the denominator, is 32 over 12. You do the same thing here. What will you do to 4 to give you 12? You multiply by 3. Whatever you do to the denominator, you do to the numerator. And 3 times 3 is 9. So the equivalent fraction of 3 over 4, having 12 as the denominator, is 9 over 12. So you can go now and subtract this. You can go now and subtract this. This is 32 over 12 minus 9 over 12. And that gives you 32 minus 9 over 12 because they have the same denominator. You can now subtract their numerator. And that gives you what? 12 minus 9 is 3, 23 over 12. And for me, you can leave your answer like this. If you want to put it in mixed number, that's fine. Okay? Alright. The next one, we still have another one. I'm already dancing. Why we still have another one? Okay, the next one, g of negative 1/2. So this means that whenever we see x, we replace with negative 1/2. Okay, so this will be 2/3 times negative 1/2 minus 3/4. So 2 can cancel out 2, right? So we now have negative 1/3 minus 3/4. Okay, LCD is 12. This will now be what? Negative 4/12, right? Minus 9/12, right? So you owe 4, you owe 9. This will be negative 13/12. Okay? That is it. All right, now let's, we finished this, so I'll use this space. I'll now use this space and this space, so we can finish up the rest of the questions. Question 4. Question 4 says f of x is square root of 5x plus 3. Okay, we've come to square root. What is f of 13/5? So in this case, we want to replace x with what? 13/5. So this will now be square root of 5 times 13/5 plus 3. Okay, this is a fraction. 5 divided 5 is 1. 5 divided 5 is 1. So this will be square root of 13 plus 3, which will be square root of 16, which was 4. Which is 4. Okay? The next one is f of 12. So what is f of 12? F of 12 will be square root of 5 times 12 plus 3. And that will give you square root of 60 plus 3. And that will give you square root of 63. Okay, square root of 63 is what? You can simplify this radical. I did a video on simplifying radicals. You can simplify radicals. 63 is 9 times 7. So this is square root of 9 times square root of 7. And that will give you 3 square root of 7. 3 root 7. Okay? 3 root 7. Then the next one, f of negative 2/5, still on this function. F of negative 2/5 will be, whenever we see x, we replace with negative 2/5. So this will be square root of 5 times negative 2/5 plus 3. Okay? 5 times negative 2/5 plus 3. And that will give you square root of 5 divided 5 is gone, negative 2 plus 3. And that will give you square root of 1, and that is 1. That gives you 1. Okay? We finished number 4. Number 5. Let's put some humor in this, you know. Put some humor in mathematics so that you don't feel bored. You know, you smile. You know, you show me your teeth, you smile. Now, 5 says that the f of x is negative 4x plus 7. Find f of a. Find f of a. Come on. We've been doing numbers. We can still do alphabets, variables. All you need to do is to replace x with a. period. So this will be negative 4a plus 7. That is it. Now the next one says find f of a plus 2. Okay, the same thing is what you do here. The same thing is what you do here. F of a plus 2. Here you replace x with a plus 2. Okay, now you've got to be careful with your operations. You need to know the order of operations. You need to know distributive property. You need to know your signs. Multiplication, division, addition and subtraction. You need to know that. So this is negative 4 times a plus 2 plus 7. Now, be careful. This is a sum. You must put parentheses. Must. This is not just like what I did here. Negative 4a plus 7. Okay? Here, this is a sum. You must put parentheses. Don't just come and write negative 4a plus 2 plus 7. No. You don't do that. You don't just come and remove this parenthesis and write negative 4a plus 2 plus 7. You do not do that. No. This is a sum. It's got to be everything in this sum. You treat it as an entity, as a sum. So you have to put your parentheses. So this will now be, negative 4a minus 8 plus 7. Okay, distributive property, you distribute. Don't stop here. Okay, do not stop here, you distribute. So negative 4a minus 8 plus 7, and that will give you negative 4a minus 1. That becomes your answer. Negative 4a minus 1. That becomes your answer. Okay, the next one, still on that question 5, is f of a plus h. F of a plus h, the same thing. Okay, this will be negative 4 parentheses a plus h plus 7. Right? And you can leave it here. You can leave it like this if you want to. You know, and you might ask me now, why do you have to distribute here? Why don't you leave it here like this? And here I'm saying you can leave it like this. And this is why. Here at least you have a constant. So when you distribute the constant, you could still simplify it further. You can do that. But here, you can leave it like this as it is factored already. It is simplified as a factor already. Yeah. If you leave it like this on, you know, I'm going to mark it correct for you, you know. But if you still want to expand that, you know, you can still distribute that. Negative 4a minus 4h plus 7. So either of these is fine with me, you know. Here there is nothing you can do. Here we at least found a constant and we added it to this constant, so we get this. You're looking for the most simplified form. You know, like you want to leave it in the simplest form. So if you leave it like this, I would like you to even put it in this form, in a factored form, so I know that you know factoring. But any of these answers is correct. Just know that. All right. Question 6. Question 6. F of x is x squared minus 3x. Find f of negative a. Find f of negative a. So here we replace x with negative a. Okay, that is what we do. So this is a negative a all squared minus 3 times negative a. Okay, negative a all squared means negative a times negative a. So that gives you a squared minus 3 times minus a is plus 3a. And you know, if you like, you leave your answer like this. What would I prefer you? I would prefer you to leave it in the factored form. You can factor by GCF, and this will now be A into 1 A plus 3. So if you leave your answer like this, that's okay with me. If you leave it like this, best. Okay? Best. I would like it here, like this. To show me you know factoring. Okay? The next one, find f of a minus 3. F of a minus 3. What will it be? You replace x with a minus 3. So this is a minus 3 all squared minus 3 times a minus 3. Okay? So what will this give us? This will give us a minus 3 times a minus 3 minus 3 times a minus 3. You know, here you could easily factor, and that will save you a lot of time because something is common here. A minus 3 is common here. Now you can do that, but if you still want, some of you might decide to expand this and solve it all the way through, that's fine. We'll do that as well. Okay? But what would I do from here? I see that a minus 3 is common. The GCF of this guy and this guy here is a minus 3 is common. And if you factor out a minus 3, what will remain here is a minus 3, right? I can put a bracket here. What will remain here is a minus 3, then minus 3. And if we finish that, we now have this. If we finish that, we now have a minus 3. Let me start from here. A minus 3 minus 3. Okay. We can open up the parentheses. This will be a minus 3 minus 3. Okay, and this will be a minus 3 times a minus 6. I would like you to leave your answer like this. The factored form is what I prefer. Factored form. But some students will still do it this way. And that is okay with me if you decide to do it that way, provided that you later factor it. Okay? Some students will prefer to do it this way. When you have a f of a minus 3 to be a minus 3 all squared minus 3 times a minus 3, they will come and do a minus 3 times a minus 3 minus 3 times a minus 3. They'll prefer to expand this, a squared minus 3a plus 9 minus 3a plus 9. Okay? And that will be what? A squared minus 3a is minus 6a. Minus 6a minus 3a is minus 9a. 9 plus 9 is 18. Okay, a squared minus 9a plus 18. Please, don't leave your answer like this, please. Unless you cannot factor it. If you cannot factor it, that's fine. Leave your answer like this. Otherwise, go the step ahead and leave it in factored form. When you have a quadratic function, quadratic expression, quadratic trinomial, I want like this, I want you to factor it out. So you have 18a squared, and right, 2 and 9 will not work, 3 and 6 will not work, but negative 3, negative 6 will work. So this will be a minus 3 and a minus 6. That's the answer, the same thing. So some folks might want to do it this way. That's fine with me. That's fine. Okay, next one is f of a plus h. Still under the same question. F of a plus h will be what? A plus h all squared minus 3 times a plus h. Yeah, so Please don't leave your answer like this. We still got some work to do here. So this will be a plus h times a plus h minus 3 times a plus h. And guess what? I want to do it the easier way. Factoring out a plus h. Okay, if you like, you can follow this other second step. That's fine. And what will remain here? A plus h minus 3. So this will be a plus h, right, times a plus h minus 3. And you can't do anything again. So you leave it like a plus h times a plus h minus 3. Okay. Question 7, the last but not the least. The last but not the least, question 7. F of x is negative x squared minus 3x minus 12. Find f of negative a. Find f of negative a. So this is the same thing. We replace x with negative a. So this is negative. This negative is this negative, okay? Hey, be careful of your signs now. Be very careful of your signs so you do not make mistake. So this negative is this negative. Then x is negative a squared minus 3 times negative a minus 12. Please pause the video and do it on your own. See whether we get the same answer. Do it on your own and then play the video again and see whether we get the same answer. Okay, so this will be negative a squared means negative a times negative a. Okay, if I decide to break this down, negative a times negative a, then negative 3 times negative a is plus 3a minus 12. So this is negative a times negative a is a squared. So that's negative a squared plus 3a minus 12. Okay? You don't leave your answer like this. No. You factor out. Let's see whether anything can factor out. Okay? Usually when you have a leading negative, if you view my video on factoring complete trinomials, when you have a leading negative, you factor out negative 1 first. Okay, so what will remain here? A squared minus 3a plus 12. Alright, can anything work now? 12a squared, 2 and 6 will not work. 3 and 4 will not work. 6 and 2, no? So 12 and 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 and 1 will not work. So you pretty much leave your answer like this is your answer here. Yeah, because you can't factor this anymore. Okay? You can't factor it, so you leave your answer like that. Alright. Next one, still under this question, we are asked to find f of negative a minus 2. That means wherever we see x, we replace with negative a minus 2. So this will give you negative, okay, negative a minus 2 all squared minus 3 times negative a minus 2, then minus 12. Okay, so let's kind of do this here. Equal to negative. Now, I'm going to put a bracket here, okay, so I can do this well. This is negative a minus 2 times negative a minus 2. Then, if I distribute this, this will be plus 3a plus 6 minus 12. Right? So this will now be what? This will be negative, I put my bracket, negative a times negative a is a squared plus 2a, right, plus 2a plus 4. You see that? A squared, then negative a times negative 2 is plus 2a, negative 2 times negative a is plus 2a, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Then plus 3a minus 6, because 6 minus 12 is minus 6. So this will be negative, I can now put parentheses here, a squared plus 4a plus 4, right? Then plus 3a minus 6. Okay? Then I come over here to finish it up. Now, let me go ahead and distribute, because this, you know, this negative means negative 1. I mean, you don't see the 1, but it means negative 1. So distribute with negative 1. This will give us what? Negative a squared minus 4a minus 4 plus 3a minus 6. So that will give you negative a squared. Negative 4a plus 3a is what? Negative a, negative 4, negative 6, or minus 4 minus 6 is minus 10. Alright. As usual, if you have a little negative, so factor out negative 1. This is a squared plus a plus 10. Right? Now 10. 1 and 10. 1 and 10 will not work. 2 and 5 will not work. So can you factor this further? Nope. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So you can factor this further and this becomes your answer. Okay? That becomes your answer because you can factor it. 1 and 10 won't work. 2 and 5 won't work. Okay. Alright. The next one is f of, next one still under this question 7. All these questions have kids. They have kids like 7a, 7b, 7c. Okay, f of a plus 7, right? Means you look at the definition, the rule. This will be negative, then a plus 7 all squared minus 3 times a plus 7, then minus 12. Okay, so this will be minus or negative, it doesn't matter. I put my bracket, a plus 7 times a plus 7, then minus 3a minus 21, minus 12. So this will be minus, I still use my bracket till I finish with this, a squared plus 7a plus 7a plus 49 minus 3a minus 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 1 is 3, minus 33. Right? So this will be minus a squared plus 14a plus 49 minus 3a minus 33. So this will be, now distribute and open the bracket. Okay? Minus a squared minus 14a minus 49 minus 3a minus 33. And that will give you minus a squared minus 14a minus 3a is minus 17a minus 49 minus 33 will give you minus 9 plus 3 is 12. You owe 49, you owe 33. 9 plus 3, 12. Carry 1, 1 plus 4, 5 plus 3, 8. Right? Minus 82. Okay, so we factor out 1 and the negative 1. This is a squared plus 17a plus 82. Okay, what can work? 2 and 41 will not work. 3 will not work. 4 and 4 will not work. 5, 6, 6 will not work. 7 will not work. 8 will not work. 9 will not work. 10 will not work. 11, no. 12, no. 13, no. 14, no. 15, no. 16, no. 17, no. 18, no. 19, no. 20, no. So, you look at it, I mean, pretty much this is 2 and 41. So you see, you can't factor this further. It can be solved by factoring. So this becomes your answer. Okay? If you can factor it like the one we did earlier on before, you factor it. If you cannot factor it, that's fine. You leave it in the simplest form. Okay? Thank you so much, students, for listening to this presentation. Thank you so much, students, for listening to this presentation. Please watch out for other video sessions that we will do under relations and functions on U of